Hey guys, my name's Doug with Infotainment.com. Today we're working on the 2019 and up Ram heavy duty truck. That's the 2500 through the 5500 series. Today I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to upgrade to a factory CD player. Now a lot of you think it's silly to have a CD player, but a lot of you still like to listen to CDs. Well, we're going to give you guys a factory option, an easy DIY plug and play option to add a CD player to your truck. You plug this behind your infotainment screen, you route the wiring to your CD player, you simply plug it in. At the end, you're gonna program your truck with this OBD Genie programmer to enable the option in your vehicle's body control module. Now, in this particular truck, we're going to install this in the factory location that's in the front part of your floor-mounted center console. For those of you who have a center console, floor-mounted center console, you're gonna wanna install it there. If you don't have a floor-mounted center console, you can put it anywhere you want. You could put it under one of the front seats, you could put it under the rear seat, you could put it anywhere you want. You do have 12 feet of loom to play with, so you can get creative. So again, I'm gonna show you guys today how to install it, so let's get started. All right guys, in order to install the CD player in a vehicle with a factory center console, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove 6 screws. Now those are 10mm bolts or screws, as well as a few covers. There's 2 on the front of the console, 2 on the back. And then we're gonna remove 2 closeout panels, and there will be 2 more screws at the front of the console. We're gonna remove all of that, and then we're gonna be able to slide the console from the dash, which will give us access to install our CD player. So let's do that now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the 2 closeout panels. Behind those 2 closeout panels will be the last remaining 2 10mm bolts. So we'll go ahead and pull those out now. All right, now that we have our 6 10mm bolts out, we can go ahead and pull the center console from the dash. All right, so now we have 2 screws to remove, 1 on each side. These screws hold the trim pieces in, the upper trim pieces, so we can remove those. Unplug your media hub connectors. If you have the inverter on the lower part of this panel, you can go ahead and remove that as well. But basically, once you have everything unplugged and the screws out, this panel just lifts out of place. All right, now that we have the console pulled from the dash, let's go ahead and install the CD player. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our CD player and mount it to these 2 holes right here. Now we can reinstall this assembly back into the truck. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're going to reinstall the front trim here. Plug in our media hub. Going to reinstall the 2 screws that are in the back here. Then we're going to install the 2 screws here. Go ahead and install these on both sides. and then reinstall the 2 screws here. All right guys, now we have the CD player installed in the center console. All we have now is just plug and play wiring. Again, the reason why this loom is so long is because you can install that CD player anywhere. If you don't have a floor mounted center console, you could put it anywhere in the truck. So that's the reason why you have a long loom here. So in order to install the loom, we will want to replace or remove rather the center stack. Just remove your liner on the top and then the 2 screws. Once you remove the 2 screws, around the perimeter of this center stack, you can use a dash pry tool or you can just kind of muscle it out. There's just retaining clips holding it in at this place. Now what you can do is come from behind and disconnect all of the connectors. Okay, now we can install our wiring. So we're going to plug our radio connector into this end. Our loom is installed into this connector here. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna tuck this loom down here and route this connector down to the CD player. So now that it's down here, we're simply just gonna plug it into the side of the CD player, which is located right here. All right, now all we have to do is just reconnect all the connectors, including the new pass-through harness. All right, now that our center stack is back into place, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall our center console the exact same way we took it apart with the 6 10mm bolts. So we'll do that now. All right guys, now that everything's buttoned up and ready to go, now we're going to program the vehicle's BCM using the OBD Genie programmer. So now we're gonna roll some footage of how to do it. You're gonna install the security gateway module bypass first, then you can install the OBD Genie programmer. So let's do that now. All right guys, I'm gonna show you how to run the OBD Genie programmer in the 2019 and up heavy duty Ram truck. Now, in order to run the Genie programmer to enable the option that you're looking for, you also have to install temporarily a security gateway module bypass. Now, this is just installs temporarily just to allow you to program the vehicle's body control module for the specific feature you're looking to enable. Now, the security gateway module is located behind the speedometer, so I'm gonna show you guys how to get to that. It's not as hard as it sounds. The whole process, including the programming and reassembling, takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's get started. You notice it gives you a little bit of room here. All we have to do now is pull on this little panel here, just enough to loosen it up a little bit. Now what we're gonna do is pull out the speedometer bezel here. So what you're gonna wanna do is on the lip of the bezel here, to put your pry tool in or a regular screwdriver, you're just gonna wanna pry down on it to release the clips. Then just pull it out. You notice it just has retaining clips. There's no screws that hold that bezel in. So on the right side of your speedometer, you're gonna have the little part that you popped out earlier. You don't have to disconnect this, just kind of set it off to the side. Same thing on the other side, just pop that off. Set it off. Now you're gonna notice two 7mm screws on this instrument or this steering column panel. So you're gonna go ahead and remove those two screws. I like to go ahead and put the column down a little bit, but basically you just pop this out. And then you'll notice two lower screws on the actual speedometer itself, and then two screws at the top. So go ahead and remove those four. All right, now that all of our screws are out, we can simply just pull the cluster out, flip it upside down, and just temporarily disconnect it. Behind the speedometer cluster is where the security gateway module is located. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna disconnect those two connectors that are in the side of that module. These two connectors here will simply just plug into our bypass device. We can just set it back here. We can go ahead and install our cluster. We're just gonna set the cluster back in place. We're not gonna actually screw it in. We're just gonna set it back in place. Now at this particular point, now that the security gateway module bypass is installed, now we can run our OBD Genie programmer in the OBD2 port. All we have to do is put the vehicle in the run position, and then we can go ahead and plug it in. It takes about 30 seconds, you'll see a green light illuminate, and then once the green light comes on, you know you're all done. All right, what we're gonna do is go ahead and put the vehicle in the run position, and we'll go ahead and plug in our Genie programmer. You'll see a series of lights. As soon as you get the solid green light, you can go ahead and unplug it and won't be needed anymore. All right, we now have the solid green light, so we can go ahead and disconnect it. You'll also notice that your speedometer cluster and your infotainment system will reset as well. All right, guys, we went ahead and turned the truck off. Now all we have to do is just remove the bypass device, plug those two cables back into the security gateway module, and just reassemble everything. So as you can see, very easy to do. We've been in here for maybe 12 minutes. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of put it all back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this closeout panel in. You'll notice how it kind of has this lip here. You're gonna wanna stick that in and then pop it into place. The other side is the same way where the ignition switch is. All right, now when you install the speedometer bezel, you're going to want to clip in the bottom first, and then slide the top back, and it'll pop back into place. All right guys, now that the CD player is installed, as you can see, it wasn't overly difficult to install. It's very easy in this Ram truck. So let me take a minute and show you guys how it works. All right, as you can see, it went ahead and just pulled up the disc soft key. So that's how you'll be able to control the disc if you want to listen to it if it's already inserted. But as you can see, it'll show you the artist name and album and song. You can go into info, you can go into tracks, so on and so forth. You can control which song you want to listen to by pressing the soft key on the screen. You can also use your steering wheel controls for those of you who have it. I did want to mention this CD player upgrade works with all of the factory radios. So just because this is the 8.4-inch UAM option code, it will work on all of the factory radios. All right guys, you can find this part at Infotainment.com, so come check us out. Thanks for watching.